I have a question for the
Go ahead.
DM. Do we ever envision a time where Malthorin, and a certain person's sister, you know, get together in romance?
Put your hands up. Put
By
your
the
hands
way,
up. He's going to jail. This is the evidence. FBI, open up.
going to horny jail. Get back.
I can't
I'm just
look.
asking.
I think the crazy part
This is how we
is
get betrayed.
no. The crazy part is Dewbagger was the first one to try and flirt with Saren's sister,
Yeah. And I don't know why he's
and now
trying to take her.
Malforin's.
And plus, if you look at my room, I have pictures of her in my room.
You have what?
Didn't you didn't have to expose yourself?
Don't you remember what I put down?
Actually, in my wallet, I've got this whole thing of pictures.
Oh my god. Dewbagger was the bad guy this whole time. We
No,
just
he's
didn't see the
infatuated by her.
sign.
Check his hard drives. Check his hard drives.
He's infatuated by her by putting up such a good front to keep her happy while she was sad.
Yeah, you see, it sounds like he's friend zoned. Personally, I'm just saying. That's what I'm.
And what makes
feeling.
you think you're any
So-
better?
Oh,
That's why
is
I'm
that the
asking
answer
you.
for
Because he doesn't want to be
That's why I'm
friends. He
asking
wants.
the DM. That's why I'm asking the DM if Malthorn even has a
Perma
chance.
friend
That's all I'm
zone.
asking. That's all I'm asking.
The story is left untold.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I don't know.
There's a chance.
There's a chance.
There's a chance.
Maybe a viewer question. These are unhinged.
As we get into the
It only
viewer
took 3 questions.
Not even gonna lie, classic Jeremiah fashion. Didn't start recording the beginning. I got the questions, but the whole intro's fucking gonzo. So that is our new
You literally
intro.
cut the feed.
You pre-cut the tapes.
So for those
This
checking
first 30
in,
minutes,
Take 2.
it's scrapped.
Now that we're warmed
this
up.
is the Q&A.
But that means that my question was like right on top.
Yes.
That's the leading question.
So welcome.
Ask again.
After the couple questions from the party members, we're going to be getting into some viewer questions, and we're going to start with a couple. A lot of these are like D&D, like general questions. I got a lot of questions from people who don't normally partake in D&D. This is coming from someone in a Discord that I am also a part of. Her Discord handle is Amore. And one of her questions was, can D&D be played online as well? In our case, yes, we are playing D&D online. And there's a lot of different ways to play D&D online. Of course, D&D is a mainly imaginatory game. So as long as you have people in a Discord call or whatever software you use, like if you just get in a call with people, you can play D&D. But we use D&D Beyond. There's also stuff like Foundry, Virtual Tabletop, there's Roll20. There's a lot of sources that let you actually have a tabletop to play D&D on virtually. And it's super nice for instances like this where Marcus and Caleb are on the entirely other side of the country. Well, we're all in Nebraska, except for Caleb and Marcus.
You just doxed us.
Okay.
You did. The tiny state of Nebraska. I'm
There-
on to you.
The Heartland.
So we're right in the middle,
Heartland.
and they're all the way on the coast. So it would be practically impossible for us to do this if it wasn't for these online resources, which is super awesome to be able to do it this way. So yes, D&D can be played online. There are multiple ways to do it. I will say that playing online compared to playing in person, though, a lot of the in-person stuff is a lot more just being around the people that you don't really get online. I know, like, for my dad and for Skylar, like, we play a lot of campaigns together in person, so it's like we know that difference between playing at a table and playing in a call. It feels different. You know, you don't get to show off your dice as much when you're rolling them. But I mean, it makes it doable, which is the important part, is being able to hang out and play D&D with people even though you're not close enough to sit around together. Now, will there...
You forget one thing.
Uh-oh.
You have to be cool to play D&D. That's a prerequisite.
As
long
how
as
did
you're
you get in?
cool,
How are we playing then?
that's we signed the paper where we weren't gonna defame each other while recording.
You signed the NDA, brother.
It was the non-compete.
The whole point of the NDA
Anyway,
was not to talk about the NDA.
Oh gosh.
Oh shit.
Cut this out. Cut this out.
Cut the day.
It's gotta go. It's gotta go.
And then that actually leads into the second question that was sent in by Amor. What is the best way to get started?
Just basically have a group of friends that you can get along with. Need to know the rules, of course. There are some rules to go by.
You assume that we know the
Some.
rules.
I'm like not this big.
I think maybe when we say D&D, we're typically referring to Dungeons and Dragons, and the most common edition that is being played is 5th edition, the revised rule set, I would imagine. But, you know, there are other systems that exist that are kind of in that parallel, right? So Pathfinder has multiple editions that you can play. But, I mean, I think for the most part, it's an interest to learn and a desire to be creative and to meet and hang out with people. I will say my first time playing D&D was with Jeremiah and 2 other friends just in a basement in a house. We just picked up like a starter kit and we just like picked up dice and then you just imagine things as they go on. So it can be as simple as that, or you can watch a critically acclaimed TV show and begin to kind of just pick up the mechanics of it that way.
Mm-hmm. I think a one shot is always like a very easy, like, let's even find out if we like this format kind of thing, right? My first campaign, like exposure to it, was like me and my roommate were at a friend's house and he's like explaining like what D&D was and like how you actually play it, and we were like so intrigued by it that he made up this whole scenario, this own one shot, and we loved that session so much that we were like, hey, can we just like keep going with this? And he's freaking out because he's like, I had no idea how I was gonna like keep the story going and had to think on the fly like how to keep this going. That unfortunately fizzled out, but like having that one shot to even find out if you like this format is, I think, a very good start. You don't have to commit to it. It's just like a one night, like a game night kind of thing.
Yes, yeah. One shot being a session that has been able to do in one sitting. Like you sit together for like 3 to 4 hours and then that's it. That's the entire thing. One shots are very good for just like figuring out this way that the system runs. But if you're more for like the RP and the story driven stuff, one shots are probably less valuable in that aspect, but definitely for like learning the rules and learning how to like the baseline stuff. Yeah, for sure. One shots are amazing.
Mm-hmm. I think the thing that like is kind of the hardest part to get a campaign off the ground is you have to have someone that's willing to be the DM and is confident they can run a campaign. Because if I was asked to do that, I definitely would not think I could do it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility. It's the lifeblood of the campaign, and that's not something you can just go in lightly with. If you're all six, but if you're just like a group of beginners, it's really hard to even think you could run a campaign. So again, a one shot where someone could test that out, and if they figure that's not their thing, then maybe they can be just a regular character and someone else can try to be the DM.
Mm-hmm.
And to like remove even more barriers, there are like online groups that are everywhere.
Mhm.
Even your local town could have like a group at the library who's just like, I am a DM and I just run games for people who want to play on Saturdays. And you could go to the library, you could play. There are, if you look up how to play, there are D&D one shots on YouTube where you can just learn
Hell yeah.
yourself. It's just one player D&D. Like there's no barrier on the game itself. So don't get bogged down in like I need a DM and I need 4 hours and I need 5 friends and I need dice. I need bags of dice. Like don't you don't have to get bogged down with that because there's a way for everybody to play. And at the very least, if you're even scared to take that step, watch somebody else play because at the end of the day, it's just a story being told to you, whether you're like part of the story or not. You know.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, libraries. He mentioned local game stores. There's something, and I feel like at this day and age, every town where you can get, or even like there's a lot of online DMs that are like, hey, I'll run a one shot online. I'm sure there's a whole subreddit for it. Yeah, there is no barrier. There's a lot of ways to get into it. You just have to take that step and either learn by watching or learn by playing. Or learn by reading. Maybe reading through like the player handbook, right? Like some people learn how to play a system by that way.
Maybe piggybacking on that question, I kind of answered, Caleb kind of answered. I'm interested in our lovely 3 other friends, what their introduction to D&D was. You know, maybe like a short, like this is what like got me into it.
What got me into it was back when I was 12, 13, one of my older sisters married a guy and he was in the D&D and he kind of introduced me into it a little bit when they'd come over and stay nights. I'd be up all night, 3 hours in the morning playing it, and me and my cousin with him. That's what slowly got me into it. I got some friends that played it, and we played a lot.
Friends,
So-
cool.
Yeah.
Mine was actually my friend got me into Magic, and then I don't know if it's true, but he was like Magic was made when people didn't want like as a bridge between like D&D sessions, and I was like, this was back when I was like 11. I'm like, what is D&D? And then we looked into that, and we started playing some sessions of Magic and then D&D, and then it just kind of catapulted from there. To be honest, we started a group and we played some D&D, and then Magic got expensive, D&D got expensive, and then
Yeah.
you stop playing, and then your cousin asks you, "Hey, do you want to play some D&D?" You're like, "Hell yeah!"
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it started. I was asked a friend of mine who was like very into being a DM and had never done it before was comfortable with me to go, hey, I want to try this thing. Can I use you as a guinea pig? And I was like, oh, okay. I know nothing. At that point, I knew of it because of media and like video games, but like I didn't know what to do. So like they handed me a packet and it was like, fill this out, make a character. And it was like
There's homework?
pages. It was pages. And it was like, this is the character's name. This is what the character likes to do on Tuesday nights. This is the character's favorite color.
Wow.
It was extensive. And I like, because I have a creative side of my brain, I got into like the writing part of it and like the backstory stuff. Like it took off like that. And that was my first time doing that.
Mr. DM.
Yeah. So mine, my first time was my dad, forever DM for the longest time growing up, had a group that ran on Saturdays in our basement. It was my 2 brothers and like 10 other people. It was huge. They had to pull
It was
out like
a lot of people.
Oh, it was like a full like dinner table and then an 8-foot foldable table in the basement.
What was this, Thanksgiving?
Weekly. Yeah.
Could have been. That's a lot of people.
And it finally got to the point where I was old enough. I was deemed old enough to be able to hang out with these high schoolers and play D&D. I was so excited. Like, I read through the books growing up so many times. I'm like, what character am I going to make? Holy shit, what am I going to do?
Oh.
And I finally made a character. It was a dwarf fighter. I don't even know my name. I just know it was a dwarf fighter because it was simple. It was easy. We have one campaign. We have one session. We have a tower defense session where we defend a town.
Ooh.
That's the last time we ever played.
Yeah, everyone just coming after that. Life got busy.
But that was my first introduction. Was just a dwarf fighter, in a
the last
D&D
time we ever
3.5 in my basement in 2000 and early.
I don't know when. It
It was
a
like
long time
late
ago.
2000s, early 2010s.
Been at least
Hey, you can always start it back up.
20
right?
years, not longer.
No, we can't just start it back up.
Awesome.
One more question, and then we'll get back to a couple questions that you guys have. Let's find one that. So there are a couple that are more about the campaign itself, but I think this first batch we're gonna stick with just general D&D. This one comes from a buddy on Discord, Mocha Thunder. When playing online, do you prefer digital or physical dice? I know, just like out of simplicity, you guys normally use the digital dice.
Mm-hmm.
I've offered you guys can use physical dice.
I guess I'll start.
Go for it.
I will always prefer physical dice. However, with people on one screen and character sheet on the other and interacting story and everything having been built into the character sheets for the roll mechanics, it's much faster. I feel less bad being just clicking a button and having it roll the dice. And it's nice that it still rolls it on the screen. I think the only thing I would change about that is if it rolled for everyone. You know, like a dice box in the bottom corner where everyone can see the die. You know, obviously it presents the numbers to us all, but I think that would be a nice flair. But physical dice.
It's something about, like, even when you're in person, not everyone can see what you're rolling, but you for the most part can. So having that in the website, being able to, like, everyone react at the same time of like, oh, it's a 20, like we can still have those moments. And I also feel that of, like, I feel bad, like, having to do the math. Oh, I gotta add the +2 to that. Oh, there's also this on top of it. Adding that and that. Oh, I also got this too. Like, it's so much easier to just streamline it in the website.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, I like
as
both
much as I
ways.
like to have a physical thing.
I
I like
I
rolling it
personally-
myself too, but the thing is, I mean, I'm on a laptop on my recliner, and it's kind of when I roll my dice, and there's no place to.
Flings it across the room and he has to go pick it up.
Crack of my seat. I gotta re-roll it. I gotta find it.
Yep.
Yeah, I do agree. Like, as much as I like my dice, and I even have a dice tower, it's nice to hit the button and have it do math for me.
And I like that our DM still rolls his dice because it's like he's got his barrier up
I got my
in
little
person,
DM screen.
Yes.
and we wouldn't see it anyway. So it's like it fits. And we watch him as he
I'm
struggles
the
to do the
one.
math in person.
Yeah, I'm the one that has to do the math now.
Build it all out. Do the math.
Yes, simple addition. Fail, my DM, please.
I think he got A's in math.
Ooh,
Pulls report card.
speaking of you rolling dice, I do have a question.
Okay.
How many times over the course of this first act did you almost do a TPK on us? I just need to know.
0.
Oh, good.
I can say for a fact that I don't like fudging rolls. I don't like, rolling a number and then saying it's another one. I have stuck. I think I might have done it once or twice, but it was never for anything life threatening. I take, especially like when we get down to like low HP combats, every roll is precise for me. Like, you know, there's probably a time when it's like, oh, when you guys, like when Malthorin did rock, paper, scissors against the Odd Brothers, I definitely, like, in my head, I was like, if I roll this number, he's going to do rock, paper, or scissors. And I just, like, rolled him, like, that would mean he'd lose. I think it's funnier if Malthorin lost. So then I was like, haha. Right, so
Caught
like,
him in
things
4K.
like that.
Everyone saw that. The DM's been rigging the session the whole time.
But when
Got him.
when it comes to
4K.
combat stuff, no, absolutely not. That's why, like, every nat 20 I get is important to your guys' story, and if I roll it, I'm gonna say I roll it. I don't. Yeah. So yeah, no TPKs yet.
That yet has a lot of
That
weight on
centipede
it.
monster
Yeah.
thing was
The first fight
That's
against the
scary.
Sen. Yep.
it's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you also have to ride that balance of you don't want a dice roll to get in the way of a good story, right?
Well, so far we've been lucky enough not to have to worry about that. Like, obviously, like, for story purposes, in the back of my head, I always want to kill you guys. I always want a TPK. I think it's so much fun that's like a lifetime goal as a DM is to kill your characters.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also
Hey,
like, we are telling a good story, and you know, if the dice do deem the story, and if the dice wants me to kill off one of you, then it's going to.
Those goes.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, good. And we are opening back up a couple more questions from you guys before we hop into some more viewer questions. If you guys got anything.
Yeah. Who's everybody's favorite NPC?
Oh,
Dang, that's a good one.
That's a good question.
there's a lot of them. I have.
There's so many.
I'd have to say the crazy
Goblins.
governor.
Goblin. Easy
I'll-
answer,
I'll-
Goblin.
I'll shoot. Yes, the two.
Yep, I've had.
Which one? Goblin.
Which
Goblin.
one?
They're all goblin.
Yep.
Goblin
I
862.
I love those little guys so much. I miss them.
I think who was the little tiny bear, super powerful magician thing we had to fight? Tim?
Oh, the frog in a hat. What was it? It wasn't a frog. Was it a turtle?
Oh,
crab.
oh,
The crab.
yeah, Jimmy the
Crab.
crab.
Oh, the crab.
Jimmy!
When I was waving around.
Yeah, that that was in the tournament. That was the character made by my wife, Whitney, which leads since you brought that up, leads into her question that she submitted. What were your guys' thoughts on Jimmy, and were you intimidated by the man crab?
Intimidated that nothing
No,
was
I was
working
not,
on
because I
him.
went swinging it around.
Listen, out of all of the things in this world that I thought would potentially kill Sabis, a magician crab from Hog Crab University was not on the list of things that I was predicting. So I would have been embarrassed, and I would have never played D&D again. So I was horrified.
This is my resignation.
Jimmy does still remain at large somewhere out in the world.
Jimmy!
Scuttling.
Yes, it
He's
does.
still in Skull, and he'll probably join you guys on your trip to Davonmere.
Oh! Bet!
Jimmy.
Hell yeah. Jimmy!
He's a crab
Now that I
looking
know he's
for
a crab, I'm gonna-
exploration.
Now that I
That
know that he's a
crab
crab,
looking
I'm going to
mother
just
trucker.
cast hot steam on him.
Cast
think we're
hot
good.
steam.
Yeah. You want to do a crab boil?
I summon butter.
Butter.
By the power of my goddess, I bring you butter.
I will
feel
say
bad.
my favorite part that I still like to reference in our it's not NPC, but it's just FYI, just my favorite part, which I think was based on Biblioteca. Did he make the play? Maybe I should
No.
say Biblioteca is my favorite.
No, Biblioteca did not make the play.
Who did
No,
the
he didn't.
epic play?
He's
that
the one that
my
did all the
character-
stuff that was hurting people.
There
During it.
was a
Terrible play.
traveling performers that do the play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then they started dying. Was that?
Yeah.
Or we had to fight them?
The dying
Yeah.
part was
Yeah.
Biblioteca's doing.
Okay,
Or
okay.
Bruriel.
They did do
Bruriel's
the
doing.
dying, yes.
Even though Malforan thought that was part of the show
Yeah, it was a great show
at first.
for sure.
For sure.
Was that from a Nat 1? How many Nat 1s, like, have we rolled? Probably a lot.
Oh man.
More than
Actually
Nat
should.
20s?
You would think
What do you
that
think
Nat
we've done
20s
more?
Nat 20s and Nat 1s, you think that the campaign would track it on D&D Beyond? I'm
That
not
would
gonna
be
lie.
cool.
I feel
You
like
could see
there's
the
been more
history, but-
cases. I feel like there's been more cases where we've gotten like back-to-back 20s than back-to-back 1s. So I feel like because of that, we've had more Nat 20s.
I just think about how long it took us to get over to Gallbank because we kept rolling terribly.
Yeah.
I have a question for the DM.
Oh no.
Can we remove every ounce of water on this planet so we never have to sail on a boat again?
Ooh.
You want the whole world to die.
Could
Well,
you
get the dragon.
Yes. Do you know how? No. Good luck.
How much of my soul do I have to give Shar?
Oh, it's not Shard you'd be giving the soul to.
Oh no.
You're gonna go back to daddy.
No, I don't want to.
Go into your devil daddy.
Never mind. I'll keep the water.
I'll keep the water.
I'll keep the crabs.
I don't want them.
Oh, I have what role playing activities? What's been everyone's favorite? I'm gonna do. Well, I didn't get recorded, dang it. But technically, I'm doing a Sabbath here where everyone gets to choose.
Role-playing activity?
I
Yeah, like,
really.
like for instance, I'll tell you mine. My favorite, not including the play, like the humor of the play, was actually probably our beach episode, which I don't remember if Sabbath was a part of the beach episode.
Nah,
but I love
Sabbath
that.
wasn't there.
No,
He
that was
wasn't
before.
there.
Beach episode. That whole trip, I think.
That was a great trip. Between the poison fish and the hacky
rabbit.
sack. And...
Yeah.
That'd be my favorite. That was before everything got dark, because Sabbath came and it got all dark and
It's.
broody.
I'm telling you right now,
There's
it
less
wasn't
tears.
Sabbath that brought the darkness. It was already there. You just walked into it.
It's just foggy
Ever
before
since
we met
we
him.
got that fish,
That fish.
the world hasn't been the same.
It was a bad omen.
Since you mentioned that, I would say my favorite like role-playing moment-esque thing was the prison cells going to save Malthorin. Malthorin, I don't know if you ever got to watch that episode, but at the time, we had broken out of our cells and we captured one of the guards. We're trying to interrogate him, and I don't know. I think he was being resistant, and Sabas snapped and like kicked his skull in. So that
It was
was
very brutal.
I
to
have-
me that was like a full like circle moment of okay, my character is now on this vengeful arc and he's committing to it. So
That was.
I have knowledge.
The guard went unconscious, and you took the rest of the bone that was used to pick the lock and kicked it into his neck.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which after that session ended, he was like, "I'm sorry, guys, that was hard, that was rough." He's like,
That went too hard.
I think one of my favorites is an early one because we got out of the Edenfell's Tower, and Sabas went to go bury his friend, and we had a cool RP moment right after that. and it was very spontaneous, and it was very nice, and I was like, oh, that was cool.
Tempest would be in a much worse place if it wasn't for Saren.
Aww.
I really liked when we made our rooms. That was a fun little segment, and we did a little MTV Cribs style walkthrough. That was sweet.
You got a balcony and a punching bag and a little fountain
With a little loft.
Oh, the fountains. I remember the first place was all about the fountains.
The fountains.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why Violet Hall is our home. It's so nice.
Yeah,
What about you,
you've been
Barry?
about the
You
fountain
ever
since
go?
the beginning.
Yeah.
think
Which that first episode is like 4 sessions, isn't it?
yeah, the first.
Probably.
So after my hard drive failed, and it was the first 6 sessions. In that first episode, the one that was like 30 minutes long, is just me talking about the first 6 sessions. Man, that was a very rough way to start. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think my favorite role play has to be just the entirety of the Goblin Town. I
The Goblin Town.
had so much fun preparing that. That or probably just your interactions with your first interaction was Donde, as he's looking for the Biblio.
That was I like to play on words on that.
Donde.
But
That
you
one-
really, I
that
think you
actually is a
what?
concept made by Mocha Thunder, the guy who asked about the physical. He, someone I used to work with, he brought up that character idea, and I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Do you mind if I use that? And he's like, do it. And next session was when I introduced him.
I have a part 2. My second favorite moment is all of the times that Malthorn was very racist in his adventuring career.
He was
feel like
racist with the very first words he got out of his mouth.
Yeah. Just want to put that there.
I want to
Hey,
preface this
Greenblood.
for all the listeners. Okay, so the Malthorn was racist because I had never been this character type before. So literally when I first look it up, what are these how are these characters act? And literally everyone's like, yeah, they're just the worst. They're hateful, they're racist, they're all a bunch of they think they're mightier than everyone else, and I'm like, all right, well, we're just gonna go right into this. And then it was funny too because then he picks a Dragonborn, and one of them was like, yeah, and they just loathe Dragonborns, and I'm like, oh, there we go, there we go.
Got the
Make it
tension
easy.
online.
Should have talked to someone else about how Adrel acts.
Hey, you're gonna tell me that Reddit failed me because
The internet's never wrong, Dad.
Never.
Well, yeah. What about you, Dad? What was your favorite RP moment? I don't think you said yours.
Honestly, there's lots of them. Just the whole campaign's been great.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to say the party after we took down the tower.
The party. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That was nice.
Yeah,
My
had a good
awesome
time in there,
scene.
listening to music going, and
No, I played the
everyone
you-
dissing on the crybaby because he wasn't there because he went to bed, and we're like, what did you think about this guy? He's such a crybaby.
Such a crybaby.
To preface, that was after I buried my best friend.
What a crybaby.
No, you were a crybaby before that.
All I can say
try.
is
We did find him in a tree being attacked.
those are
That's
some of my
true.
best roles.
Which was
Those are
really
some of my
funny
best rollers. The
to-
piano.
to get Skylar into the campaign late. I had a special session 0 with him to kind of get him put into place for you guys. And it was funny because he comes out of the cave. I'm like, there are wolves. And he's like, I'm going to climb the tree. And I'm like, okay. Roll an athletic. And he rolled it stupidly high on athletics. So I'm like, yeah, you're up on the tree. And then you see some figures out there. And then, I wasn't expecting.
I remember I rolled pretty good on the athletics to get up in the tree, and then I rolled to like hit one of the figures with an Eldritch Blast because that's all I had at the time, and I think I rolled terrible. It was I might have even crit failed, and instead of hitting them, I hit like one of the wolves, which then was immediately into the introduction of.
That's
So-
right. That's right.
Wait, hold on. I gotta ask. You mean to tell me that you Eldritch? We have never heard of this spell. For
He
sure.
was going
You
to
know
Elder. He was going to hit us
blasted
with it.
everything when you first started. We've never heard of this spell. Being facetious, by the way.
If you couldn't tell.
As you blew your hand off because a mime attacked it.
No, that
with
was
an Eldritch Blast.
That
was
was with a fireball. And that was
Oh,
when
yeah.
that actually, that's part 3. That's number 3 of my favorite moments when I imploded a mimic with a fireball that I created in its mouth, which in no world should ever be allowed, but is fucking awesome.
I thought it was funny. I let it go.
I hurt myself, so.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed all our activities we did before the tournament battle, where we had to run around the town.
Oh
and
yeah.
all
Oh
those things.
yeah.
That was also a good strong 2 for me.
Yo, you had the guy in the knife throwing
Skill
spinner.
test, yeah.
You had Crazy Coop
Yep.
Carl. Yeah.
Crazy
You had
Coop
the
Carl.
weird potion testing
Potion?
that Sabas did. Yeah. Baseball.
Yeah.
Hide and seek.
Yeah, didn't we lose that one?
No, the
No.
only one you lost was Malthorin when he couldn't find someone's earrings because they were stolen.
It was
And
that's
it
what it
was
was.
betrayal.
Yep.
I rolled so horribly. Like I tell you, like I
More
just
of
said,
that.
I rolled amazing for singing and piano play, but when it comes to actually matters,
Mm-hmm.
what is happening?
I seen
I
you real terrible for how well you like a terrible play.
Right. Well, then don't forget when the hacky sack. I rolled like a 20. I did like a
Yeah.
bicycle flip kick.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite moments for you.
all I'm hearing is that Malthor needs to reclass into a bard. Like plays music, is dramatic, does like song and
Athletic.
dance, food that is traumatic too.
Let's get into a couple more questions from the viewers. I like this one. This one comes from someone in another Discord I'm in, Buttercuppin. What are the biggest misconceptions about D&D? I know, like, that list is definitely shortened a lot since it's since Critical Role, really. Since, like, the live plays started coming out with Dimension 20, Critical Role, Legend of Evantris, like, misconceptions have kind of dwindled because a lot more people are understanding what D&D can be.
Mhm.
But, I mean, you have the whole,
Yeah,
you have the whole Satanic Panic that happened. Like,
That was back in the
Oh.
right, like,
80s and
trying to think of like
Back in then.
misconceptions now.
I think I got
I
one
would-
for you.
Me too.
I would
yeah.
think that the biggest one that I still see, even though I mean there is a lot of female D&D players, I do think people still think D&D is mostly for dudes. But I say that knowing that there is a female, I can't remember her name, but she's in because of her D&D, not like things like this, but they kind of sort of acted through it. So I think she's gotten some acting roles due to it. So there's been some famous people who've made it, famous ladies who've made it from D&D to go further beyond. But I still think it's kind of misconception.
Farther beyond.
I still think it's just a boys thing, is a misconception.
That's fair enough. Absolutely.
Marcus, go ahead.
My thought was that it's a misconception to think that everything will be like Critical Role. I think that
Yeah.
it's very important to point out that just if you don't sound like season 2, episode 5 of Critical Role. It doesn't mean that your campaign is failing. It doesn't mean that you're bad at it, but it's not always a production like that. Even Critical Role has to do a whole lot of editing to make their show work. Shows multiple. They have to make changes to what they did at the table and how things are intertwined and how story flows. They're figuring it out at the table because that's how the game is played. And that is, you don't have to be worried about that when you play because that's the game. You are figuring it out as you go.
Yeah, I mean, mine was pretty darn close to that. That was kind of like my part 1 of 2 is the when you get into a campaign, it's okay for it not to be great the first time, or even the second time, right? You're talking about
You're
getting
learning.
together in you're literally doing like a team building exercise with these people, that you're playing D&D with, of like, when do I choose to be silent and let other people have their moments? Like, how does my story, how can I, help contribute with theirs, and how can they help contribute with mine? And there's different levels to it, not just in like, this is better than this one, right? But from like the perspective of Critical Role, it's like, it's a show. It's meant to be theatrical, right? And dramatic. Whereas you can have some campaigns that are quite literally just like dungeon crawls, where you get 4 people and a DM, and the DM's whole objective is like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to throw traps and monsters. Like, the spectrum that exists there is huge beyond just this like storytelling-esque aspect of D&D. That's so I guess my misconception is that like it has to be like Critical Role, right? And that's where you have to try it with different people. You have to kind of experience that. You have to go. It's growing pains. It just exists. So don't give up after one crack at it. Try different people, different environments.
What you
And
guys
everybody's
brought
different.
up.
Not everybody is a master of improv.
Yeah, and that really leads in to another question from Buttercup. And actually, over the past 10 years, it seems D&D has had more of a spotlight in popular culture, movies, references in popular TV shows, etc. How has this impacted D&D overall in terms of new players, expectations about the game, etc.? You guys touched on it a lot, of the expectation of like the DM having to be like Matt Mercer, Brennan Lee Mulligan, or Bria Iyengar, like those, like having those, like it has to be like I've heard horror Reddit stories of people who like go to the local game store and it's like, you didn't make the door creaking noise, you're literally the worst DM ever. And it's like that, like it's had very positive changes to how D&D is viewed. It's made D&D a lot more open. It's made it to where a lot more people are able to feel comfortable getting into it because of, the only thing I know about D&D is they played it in Stranger Things. Let's try that out. Or, like the D&D movie where they're like, I really like these actors that were in the movie. They played their characters in a campaign. That sounds fun. Let's do something like that ourselves. Like it's great for inclusion, but there are definitely like those people who come in expecting it to be like their big productions, their Dimension 20, their Critical Roles, like it's just not gonna be like that. Every DM is different. The best part about DMing is being able to take aspects of other DMs and making it work with how you are as a person, right? So like the same thing goes for players, right? I'm sure you guys can attest, if you've been the people who've been in multiple campaigns, like taking stuff from other players or taking stuff from how you played before and using that to kind of adjust how you play this new character. Like everyone plays differently, everyone DMs differently, and it is absolutely asinine and crazy to assume that somebody's going to be able to play a certain way just to fit your fantasy of playing at a table with the like of Matthew Mercer. God, I wish. But yeah,
I'll be Mr. Perfect.
I think one more thing, because the original kind of question was kind of like, how does D&D blend into like mainstream S type things. I think a really good example as of November, December of 2025 is the video game Dispatch, where you see individuals who have voice acting talent who participate in things like D&D, and all of a sudden it bleeds into other industries where all you're doing a storytelling game now, or it leads into TV shows, right, or movies. So I think we're getting to the point where it's no longer a side thing that exists on the hinges of popular culture. I think it's just one of those things. It'll just keep getting bigger and more accessible, and I think people will continue to see these types of tabletop-esque games just get bigger, right? Include more people. So
You bring that up, and it makes me think that just acting has always been D&D. Every TV show, everything that you absorb media-wise can be looked through the lens of D&D. Like Friends is just another campaign. The Office is just another campaign.
So,
I mean, you're not wrong, but you should watch. And this, I don't mean to. I don't know if this is pro. You should watch like Deborah Wool explain D&D to the.
Yes.
Oh man, there's the Punisher. Like,
Oh, is that the one?
Big name actors and actresses, and he's like, I don't understand it, and she just starts like DMing literally on the spot. And he's like, well, you run into a pack of wolves. What do you do? And he's like, well, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know. Would you like to investigate? And like, it's just one of those things. While yeah, they're very similar, I just think that there's just people just don't get it, and it takes a little bit of like.
You don't get it, man.
Yeah, it just takes a little bit of shove.
D&D is the game in the mind.
Yeah.
You don't have a video camp or video to watch or anything. It's all in your imagination. And the best part, you're doing it with friends.
Yeah.
And making new friends, too.
Yeah.
Marcus and Caleb.
Yeah, Travis and my dad here. This campaign is what
When worlds collide.
When worlds collide. Because I want it. So, I guess it's getting pretty late here. This is definitely going to be a two-parter for us. I'm going to edit all into one video, but to end it off here for us tonight, kind of go into like how I came about getting this group of yahoos together.
Yahoo!
Because initially, what it was Caleb, Marcus, Skylar, and I, like, we hung out almost weekly. I know Caleb, Marcus, Skylar, and I got together a lot because we were watching Ruby. We were watching a bunch of stuff together. So we were together a lot. And then whenever Caleb could, he would join us. We'd play games. And it got to the point where we were talking about D&D because it's kind of huge for Skylar and I. We have a group, like a few other group of friends who play D&D, and we still get together almost weekly to play D&D with them. So it's like, it's a huge part for us. So we were just talking about it, and Caleb and Marcus, they're like, yeah, like we've played it once or twice, but haven't really had a chance. I'm like, do you want a chance? And they wanted to.
You want to play my game? Will you take us in his hand?
They were both new to it, and we were just coming off of Skylar's first campaign DMing in our other friend group, and he was just kind of like D&D'd out. So he wanted to join, but he didn't want to join right away. So like, I need to get someone who's experienced in D&D. And so that's when I went to my dad. Although he wasn't really experienced in 5th edition, played D&D longer than I've been alive. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? It'll be a good time. And then that was at like Thanksgiving or Christmas, where Travis was just standing next to him, and I'm like, Travis and I were getting really close over the last couple years, talking about games, hanging out, going over to his house for like the anime convention and whatnot. So like we were getting like closer and closer, like as people, and I'm just like, do you want to be in the campaign too? And he's like, oh yeah.
Shaw, bro.
That is kind of just how this kind of came to be. And then I made the group chat. We set up character creation. Nobody made their characters together. I think everyone was separate when character creation was made. I think there was discussion about party compositions, but
Well, there was a discussion by you that there's only going to be humans, half elves, and elves, and 3 of us kind of broke that.
no. So like the way that the world was, those were the most common. I didn't really have a like you can't be this race. I was like, if you be this race, that's fine. It's just you're gonna be an outlier. There might be story implications for at least because Carnavia kind of been through some shit. Not a lot of races have survived all of that.
Yeah, but I think I will say usually I've been to play done this where we all do it together. I think the making it separately, just based on like for instance Malthorns to break apart and come back. Like I was able to give you a good decent backstory. Or you kind of like did one of these things and like started cooking on it, right? Which if we would have done it together, I feel like the backstory I would have maybe possibly let some of that out without even thinking about it. So it was interesting.
Yeah, and backstories continued to build. I know, like Marcus and I talk a lot about Saren's backstory, and we're working on it. Like even to this day, like there are things that we're working on. I have things planned for everybody's backstory that make them cry and hate me. That will unveil itself during Act 2. But it is getting late for us here, so we have a few more questions here, and I want to give you guys some more time to think of some questions. So this will be the end of our part 1, but for you guys, I'm just going to snap my fingers. We're going to be in different clothing. It's future us here for part 2. Since we weren't able to get through all the questions last time, we are back here dressed differently. I think I didn't look back the footage. If anybody's dressed the same, I will be calling them out in the edit.
Can
I
guarantee
might be
Marcus's background
first time,
is different.
and
Marcus's entire camera is completely different.
Different.
This is Marcus 2. This isn't even the same Marcus. He's from a different multiverse.
There's 2 of him?
2 different personalities.
Do not rewind, but nothing has changed.
The government is watching you.
his background has not changed at all.
But I thought we can get straight into a couple of viewer questions here. We got 6 left, I believe. Six viewer questions left. So we'll start off with a couple to kind of get those whittled down, and then we'll go to more questions from you guys. Let's go with one. We haven't had one. We didn't answer either of these questions from this person last time, but we have a question. This kind of poses mainly just to me, but I do want to open it up to you guys too. But from our good friend Nee, good old Nee Slasher. Do you have plans for more guest appearances? So I say that's mainly a me question, because well, I mean, I kind of throw in the guests and the stuffs, and but I will open it up to you guys because there brings the question: if there is any character from your backstories that you want made into a guest character, that can be done. So in which cases, like, you guys do help out making the character, and I just either I play it or I find somebody to play it, right? When it comes to actual like guest appearances, in a sense, yes. Like stuff that we did with the tournament where we had people of the viewers make characters for the tournament. I would love to do something like that again in a different way. We're going to see some of the old people that we have met that have been made by other people that'll join us for a couple quests here and there. Overall, though, it's hard in my mind to get a actual guest because our schedule's pretty like volatile. Like there would be sometimes when like something comes up last minute, we have to cancel. We play at a very specific time, and so it's like it's hard to get somebody to actually like join us for a few sessions. But I think it would be fun to maybe get something like that set up with somebody. But we'll see how it goes. Again, it's just weird. Like we specifically like, you know, every other Monday at this time, right? So it's like it's hard to get somebody to come out on a Monday night. Yes, it's just over Discord. It's not like they have to like go anywhere outside, but it is still like hard scheduling wise to kind of get that.
So,
At least that's from
Especially
my
when already work schedules and
work schedules and all that.
thought we could. I'm gonna help the audience out here a little bit. Nee, I got you, big dog. Okay, you could do like a with out of the universe but in characters event where kind of out of the main story plot, but you're in a situation where if it's like a carnival is happening in this random neighborhood that's not applicable to the main story, those would be good opportunities to have side characters, you know, bring something goofy in. Maybe it's, you know, not as serious. You know, we're going to start getting into some really thick drama stuff, but,
Going to.
you know,
I feel like we already have.
true. True.
You
But-
saw the brakes that you beat off that one dude a couple of times? That was deep.
I'm cranking it up.
That was dark.
I think people like Happy Sabbath. I think this would be a good opportunity to bring a Happy Sabbath.
Well,
But Jeremiah's
Happy
largely right.
Sabbath.
Yeah. You know.
I mean, can you stop plugging your character, dude?
You're doing what to your
I like it more than
Oh boy.
Crybaby.
Yeah. No, it's we're a team, all right. It's not all about you and Happy Sabbath.
You're just mad that Malthorn's arc's over. Dead, gone.
Hey,
Screw your girlfriend. We're not going to see her
Malthorn's arc.
again.
I gotta say, we showed the level that Malthorn's arc has to hit. You guys have to just make sure you hit the mark. All
Oh,
right?
you mean you want us to abandon each other? Okay. It's not happening.
Yeah, but it's the story arc of abandoning, you know, and then you reclaim the teammate
Your
in
friends
the
come
epic
and bail you
battle.
out.
I don't
Epic
think that they fully accepted you back yet. Personal.
Yeah, bold assumption, friendo.
Yeah.
All right,
We just haven't had
Aw.
the conversation yet. We haven't had a time.
But for now, I want to go to a question from someone we last time when we were together with questions, we got a question from this guy Mocha Thunder, one of my buddies on Discord. What's one dice roll you wish you could take back? You normally get the like, what's your favorite dice roll, but which one do you wish you could take back?
My one I wish I could take back would be when we were going through the frozen wall of snowstorm, and I just totally failed my rolls, and so I couldn't help out at the end when Marcus was going through all the trouble with the people attacking us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's hard to say what role you want to undo, right? Because that's the dice tell the story.
Right.
You kind of want those things to happen. It's just like the way it goes. But you know, we obviously don't want to fail. I kind of wish that rolling maybe not necessarily was better, but went differently. It could have been worse or better during the fight against in the tower,
The one against
in the
Edenfell?
wizard tower, because I think it would have been we kind of went through it a little bit quickly. We had more trouble with Cadell really than we did with Edenfell.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, if we all rolled worse in that situation, what that would have looked like and how that would have steered the story differently.
I think for me, this is kind of like when we had first met the goblins, and there was a roll off to see who would win and become the chieftain and get all of the hats. And
And you just
I
had to cut his hand
lost.
off.
It was the roll that broke my heart, and it turned Sabas a little goblinist for a minute there, and then he recovered from his ways. But I
After you
think
took
about
the
that every
leader's
day.
hand.
I think about that every
I
day.
think about that every day.
The poor leader.
He only lost an arm, right? Hand, arm. Yeah, arm. It's fine. It'll grow back.
It was an arm.
Yeah, it'll
I
take
don't know about that one.
World of Magic.
Just an arm.
Caleb, Travis, any dice rolls that you guys can think of?
It didn't really affect anything in the grand scheme, but one of our boat trips, I just kept rolling terribly, and I felt really bad because it felt like the boat was going to be at the bottom of the ocean at some point. It's like, well, this puts a damper on our trip.
I think you're muted, Travis.
Everyone laugh and point at him because he's a silly guy.
That was
Point and
hilarious.
I think you're the only one pointing, but okay.
I think it
Uh,
we'll do it.
My
Rest of
worst,
us were laughing.
my worst one was, and it was mostly because like we were winning all of them in a row. The in a row. The one when we were trying to find, I think like I was trying to find a pendant,
Oh,
like the game.
the Skull games.
and it was only the only reason why I say that it was so bad was because we had won every game so far, and I just couldn't. It just wasn't working. I was not getting nothing.
I have one that I regret.
Better not be a TPK.
No. Oh God, it was during the fight against Bruriel Biblioteca when you guys were on your way back to Violet Hall. There was a chance that he was going to be able to cast a very powerful spell at the cost of exploding Biblioteca's body. And I just did not roll good enough
Thank God
for
that
the
didn't
spell
happen.
to go off.
Fuck.
That would have been
'Cause
horrendous.
Burial is a high level magic person, and Biblio is just a book thief who got unlucky with whatever curse he got from a book, right? So his body is not meant to hold this much magic. But I mean, a little nudge hint type shit. The testing that he did with Biblio's body was how they were able to know that they could put their god in that body. The battle that he had with you guys was a stress limit test type thing.
I think we didn't test him. Didn't touch that man. Didn't land finger on. No.
This is not the last you've seen of Biblio. There's a chance that the remnants save him. There's a chance that the remnants destroy him. We'll have to wait and see in Act 2 what kind of happens there, and if they get a new ally or just a dead corpse at the end of it.
Bro,
I didn't even know that was an option.
Saren would be messed up because since that moment when he was like, he broke for a minute and he was like, please help. I'm possessed. Help me. Saren has been like, we need to save this man.
I'm not going to lie. If you didn't say that right now, my head was like, we're going, bang, we're going to knock him out. I'm going to knock you out. You know what I mean? Like,
Are we
Well,
recording?
we shoot one for Balthasar.
What was that?
So,
Okay.
you're a dragon.
Born.
Dragonborn.
Do you need your
You're a
light on so you can
Dragonborn. Yeah, I do. It's very dark in here. You're a Dragonborn. And to me, when I think of Dragonborn, I think of big muscles. Just hulking creature.
Mm-hmm.
I would never have thought going with bow and arrow. Being an
Right.
archer.
I didn't want to go too strong in one category. I thought having a taller being that was more athletic and nimble would have been like a fun choice. I think because I'm newer to D&D, I wanted something that would give me space and not be in like the forefront of action. So
Okay.
I think that's what my main motivators were.
I didn't really ask a question, but that answered my. I was
Oh.
going to ask. So.
Sorry. Yes, I wish I had a tail and wings. Yes, I do.
A talent leap.
He needs to
Obviously.
grow up. He'll be a big Dragon boy later.
Big dragon boy. I'm already a big dragon
Oh.
boy.
I got
I'm
one.
the daddy.
What is everyone's pet peeve in D&D? We've all done I feel like a pretty good job of listening to each other or try to give each other's moments.
No.
Except Mathorn. But what's like the thing that irks someone if you're playing D&D and you're like, oh, I wish that wasn't a thing.
Do you mean us in personally or us in character?
No, personally. We're out of the scope.
I think something that's sort of it doesn't really come up because we figure out how to use our characters, but it's kind of annoying to think about the fact that you want to do an action and dodge or something like that. There are certain things that you can do in, say, Shadowrun or even in second edition, that you can't do in fifth edition. Does that make sense? The action that you want to take is very specific. Grappling doesn't necessarily hurt someone, right? Even though you're trying, maybe you want it to. That kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of wish there was more realism with those kind of moves of you would think a grapple would add disadvantage to this or characters can't do a lot of things under these certain actions, but it's I guess that could be too overpowered if you were doing things like that. So they got to keep it realistic in that way.
They limit your rule of cool.
Thought when you were grappled that you could not attack. Is that not true?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can.
Oh, you can still attack when you're grappled?
Yeah.
If you have a one-handed
Oh,
weapon.
'cause I know 3.5 you couldn't. You had to try to break the grapple, and if you couldn't break it, then it was the other person's turn.
Yeah.
Or next person's turn. Oh.
Even with how we've upgraded a little bit, something specifically for Saren is now the spiritual weapon is concentration based, which it wasn't before. So that changes the way that things occur. Which is also a power scaling thing. It's balance, I get it, but it's still man.
Damn it.
Gosh darn it, guys. I mean, I don't have a specific pet peeve. I was just interested in case if
I don't. I mean, not personally. In character, my character does, but
I don't think we've come across it much because we don't play 100% strict to the rules, whether it's on purpose or by accident. We miss something, but I do like how some things are bent for the better story. I feel like a lot of the rules are pretty rigid on the things you check for and what moves you can do or what you're restricted to, but I think we've taken the better approach of going with what feels better than being 100% strict to the game.
Mm-hmm. That's why.
Who's gonna complain?
I always make it very apparent. If I do find the player handbook has something ruled differently than what we do, I bring it up. Hey, how do we want to rule this? Like the book or like we did, type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, we're telling a story and having fun as a group of friends. We're not. We're not, in the courthouse well, he didn't follow the rules on page 204, section 5, so his character is being banished to the Shadow Realm. No, we ain't doing that shit. We're here to have a good
Should have
time.
died 5 times actually by now.
We like each other, and it would be nice to keep it that way. So the rule of cool above everything else. That's something. there's some things like like different spell meanings, different. There are a few things that, like in the book, like you do want to like maybe stick a little bit harder to, but like how we used Arcana to sense magic. That's not how that works, right? But I'm like, fuck it, and I made it make sense story wise. And now that magic is different in the world, who knows if you can do it anymore? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it kind of feels like at times we're like the Supreme Court, and the handbook is our Constitution, and we're interpreting it and voting on what we think it means, and that's how we're going about it.
Yeah, no, it is 100%. We are just here to have a good time, and if we feel like a rule does not fit what we all want to do, then we bend it to where it's still there, but a little bit different. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of games like this, I feel.
Absolutely.
Especially with these multi-year campaigns. Eesh. It feels like a one-shot. Like, no, we're going by the rule book.
We're going by the book.
Gotta do the cooking by the book.
Gotta do.
Cooking by the
I couldn't
book.
figure out the lyrics. And I was like, I know what it sounds like. By the book.
Oh, speaking of rule of cool, I have a question. In the same vein of Gimli looking at Legolas and going, "You're going to have to throw me." What kind of cool move would your character do with one of our other characters?
Ooh, a sync move? Ooh.
What's your cool combo?
What's the move called where Colossus throws Wolverine? There's like a name for that.
It's like fastball special or something like that.
Yeah.
Special.
My God.
I don't think anybody is
need
small
this.
enough to get thrown though, like that. So
I don't know. Dagger's
he's
he's a light guy.
He's light, but
he's got a nimble frame.
I was gonna loosely suggest that with Susie. I was gonna have that be Malthorin and Sabas's thing, as he was gonna like punch Susie up in a ball and throw her, like roll her like a fucking bowling ball. You know what I mean? Like the.
I was
head or
thinking
something.
something. I was actually thinking something similar to that, but I like trying to also use like one of your fireballs or Eldritch blasts, like to.
He doesn't have those anymore.
Yeah.
That's right. You don't have them anymore.
He hasn't had
Found it for like 3 sessions.
more than
I forget. If
love it.
it's longer than 3 sessions. No, that's actually a good one. Actually, where I make the big burly man roll her up into a ball and roll her like a bowling pin. That'd be kind of cool.
We good.
That, or actually, Susie's like a long range character. I can make like the ghoul, not the ghoul, the one that does poison. That would make more sense.
Think
Then it would
all
inflict poison damage.
Yeah.
It actually
Or you
does
can
make
wear her like armor, like Jake and Finn do in Adventure Time.
That'd be kind of cool, actually. That one would be skeleton armor. That'd be kind of cool, actually.
I didn't mean to make it only like this is a thing that Susie can do. I was trying to think for us, but like Susie's kind of
It's all she gets to do.
A tool. Susie is nothing to me but a tool.
Don't wear Susie like a
You're
glove.
you're the most strength in our group.
oh, give you like a cool punch.
Balasar has the most strength, I believe.
So I was thinking, like, if we came across something like that we did in that centipede-looking thing that couldn't see, but it could feel vibrations. If I could get thrown instead of running up to it, that'd be the best ideal for me to be able to attack something like that.
We need, and we can piggyback off this. We need to have like a Sonic Heroes type ultimate move where we all interact in team together for one big attack. Because I'm thinking of like, with my strength, I team up with Saren and we hold his shield, and Dewbagger like jumps on the shield and we push it off, give him that extra boost, and then like Malthorin does a thing with like magic missile, and he like grabs the missile and he's flying with it.
Let him cook.
Man, that almost reminds me of that. It's like my brain goes to the American hero when she's a big person and she gets those missiles. She's like trying to like push it down. My brain just
Oh yeah,
you just grab all the missiles and you group them together.
And yeah, he grabs the missiles, and then if you still have Eldritch Blast, you Hit the blast on the missile.
I feel like
One
we
super
all
missile.
wish that someone still had a certain ability.
We all wish that still had a demon controlling them.
It's just like the equivalent of like breaking a fucking addiction, and all your friends are like, "But just go
Man.
do it again."
Man, you were
It's
cooler
fine.
when you were
Gamble.
doing that.
Do it.
When you're in that
It's cooler when
toxic
you run.
relationship.
Yeah,
You were so much
I'm
cooler.
free.
You were cooler then.
I was cooler then. Thought you guys understood me. No.
We actually missed the demon. That's,
do,
that's,
they just-
you
they
bring
just
it
wish-
I
back.
feel like the demon
powers.
just came out at this rate. I don't feel like it's
Let's be honest though.
demon's
We
not in
would
my
all
closet
have to
anymore.
roll high on that, and one of us in some way would get a 1 and just snub the whole thing.
Oh, just
And it would
ruin
still be
it.
great.
Someone is gonna
It would
trip
still be
over
great.
themselves.
Yeah, with all the movements we just said, like, wouldn't it be funny to be like, and he steps on the shield is slippery from the rain, and he face plants.
Yep.
Can't ever win.
Right. There's got to be an all nat 1 of that move, and then an all nat 20. Like, how different do those look?
That'd be so fun.
On that one, I would guess. I mean, all of us, I'd land on your
We all,
shield and
that's
we'd
the
all go
TPK. We all
fall
killed
backwards.
ourselves.
My God. If you could pick one non-D&D character that you had to fight and beat as the final boss in this campaign, who would it be? My vote is Wile E. Coyote. Because of this whole conversation we just had. Imagine
Bugs?
how absolutely sick that fight would be.
Bugs Bunny, because he has the same antics as Coyote, but
You're gonna
I
beat him?
think Bugs is more chaotic.
But are you gonna beat him though? I
Yeah,
don't think
Coyote,
he Bugs Bunny.
all you have to do is just go have him order some Acme product and he'll just hurt himself.
Yeah, the boss that beats himself.
Well, there's like a
He'll
loophole
strap
there,
himself
right?
to a rocket and he'll go up in the air and blow up.
Mhm.
I think that Bugs Bunny is basically Sans from Undertale.
Yeah,
And I can't explain that, but it's
I
true.
feel it though.
Just
I
had to
do
be
feel
there,
it.
you know?
I'm getting this vibe.
Yeah. Somebody's going to make art of it now, and it's going to exist.
Mhm.
Bold of you to assume there isn't already.
That's true.
My other alternative was Santa from the Santa 2, the movie.
Tim Allen?
Santa Claus is already an Omega level.
Yeah,
demon,
Tim Allen.
Oh, he's
mutant.
he's an eldritch god. Santa is an eldritch god.
But I will say, just because it's on my mind, I would probably say as climatic as it would be, because it'd be so many different phases. Just literally pick like any Final Fantasy endgame boss and boom. So many different phases.
I'm gonna pick a generic
Skylar just had to bring up an anime thing.
I got a couple more viewer questions. Well, actually, I think we'll just go through all 4 that I have left, and then we'll end it off with some more of our questions. We'll start with one from Buttercuppin. He had a question a little while ago. This one is a very good one. AI and its role in gaming is controversial. What are the positives and negatives for generative AI when it comes to D&D, and how do you think this will change the game overall?
And they need to just look at Marcus's D&D stuff or AI stuff.
So, like, I think that there's a lot of positive that can come from it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of doom and gloom around it, but I think that it's, if you open up any AI thing and you're like, put me through a campaign, and now you're playing D&D, I think that's pretty neat. Because it's gonna generate dungeons and fights for you, and it's gonna react to what you say. I think that's fun, and that's not a bad use of it at all. I don't think that anything that is meant to trick somebody is obviously what you don't want.
Yeah.
I will
Go ahead.
I will say that the minimal, I've only been on like 3 or 4 campaigns in my life. This one, with all of the imagery that is getting that we're adding to these flavors with the AI stuff, in my opinion, has made it so much better. Like I have not. Maybe I'm just lazy, but like maybe my imagination is as good as it used to be, and just some of these things that Marcus you're spitting out for the AI stuff that you share, just awesome looking.
Sometimes it's easier just to look at something for us, you know?
Yeah.
Like we don't I if you have the ability to support someone and commission them and, you should do that. For us in a split second when something has just happened and we want to see it in a certain way or we want to sort of like conceptualize something, it you don't want to wait 5-6 weeks for
Yeah.
that idea to come together, right? So
Right.
like I think that there is definitely issues, right? There are issues bigger than us when it comes to this. But I think there are positives too. You can go ahead and brainstorm. You can figure
Mhm.
things out. You can create a background. You can, you can play with the tool. Play with the toy.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, in the cases of what we use it for, we use it. Oh, Dad, your camera? Hello? Are you good?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
turn the
You
light
did
on.
turn the
I
light
don't
on.
want to blind you guys right fast.
There's a few things we use AI for. We have a whole entire glossary that Marcus has been keeping up to date with just events that have happened. It keeps things organized. It summarizes things. Again, it's one of those things where it's not always correct. We have Marcus and I go through on like a bi-monthly like rate and like go through and like make sure things match up. Like, oh, this happened because of this, but it didn't happen because of this, but it said it did. So we have to like figure that out. So it's not perfect. It's not great. It's not accurate. But it does make the process of getting those summaries a lot faster. And then we can do a little bit of fixing. We're also not selling anything for money, right? That's the big thing. We're not using AI to make money, right? So that I would like, that's a hard line for me. We do not use AI to make money, whether it's here in my personal life. Like that is like one of the hard negatives of AI for me. I do not like, I'm like making AI art for like your group of friends. Cool. Don't sell that shit on the internet. It's kind of like my thing. Just because there are some like, I don't know if it's been like worked on at all, but there's been multiple cases of like it just compiling different artists' art into AI art. That is not cool. People should get paid what they're worth for the work that they do.
Yeah.
For sure. But outside of like that aspect of it, AI is very beneficial for keeping track of notes, keeping track of like different things. Like you can keep it in a notepad, but like this way it like summarizes it and maybe a different like with different phrases that makes it easier to understand for some people, right? Like it kind of takes it from it's your notes to it's our notes type thing. It's kind of how I'm look at it. It's been super nice to kind of be able to look back, and especially like we get like a transcript of the episodes, verify that they're correct, and then we feed them into our big AI to be like summarize this session for us, and then we'd verify like those are all correct and stuff. But yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things that we use it for that is beneficial to us for sure. But overall, to the second part of the question is how will it change the game overall? Kind of in that aspect, a lot of note keeping. I feel like for a lot of smaller groups who might not have bigger places to put that, like will definitely get a good use out of saving their notes and having it there to kind of like what happened as a result of this event, and then it can like name off like the things that happen because of that event type stuff. It'll be very good for a lot of people. It'll honestly change. I mean, with how fast AI changes, it's gonna completely change how it's used for a lot of people.
I think breaking this into two different parts, and I think Marcus and Jeremiah did a really good point in iterating on the consolidation of data, right, and information, and making it readable and presentable, and then touching on the art and the impacts it has on it. From an entertainment perspective, we do these things for fun, and we like pretty pictures. So it's the plus is we get instant gratification in rough sketches that we can use, right?
Somewhat instant.
I think
it still takes a couple minutes.
You have to feed it information, right?
You gotta.
But for the most part, it's a change in instant gratification of how something is supposed to look. I think the part that is more complicated, which Marcus alluded to, was the kind of the data. We talk about AI. It's important to recognize there's AI how it's done in the U.S. and there's AI that's done in the world. We have to be really, really careful when we say, even if we want to use it as a group of friends and say we want all this information, like I don't care where it comes from, even if it's just free for me, right? Just because I have it doesn't mean it didn't cost somebody else, right? The United States is looking really hard to regulate AI, which is going to impact things like what we do, where you may have to pay a subscription because the data these AI models are getting are from people who pay or get paid to submit their information, right? Or in this case, art. So right now it's really loose and fast, which means the things that we do it's okay, right? Legally wise. And then, morally, we just have to ask ourselves, are we okay with it? Are we taking advantage of anybody by using it or by selling it? And the answer is no, right? We do it for fun, and I think it provides a unique zing to it. So,
I think the side of it that people forget about too is the sustainability part of it, the massive amount of resources that go into these data farms, and on the individual level, I don't think it's really anything to worry about. It's the same argument of do your part, reduce, reuse, recycle, and it's we can do what we want as a group, but it's always the giant corporations that are using the most. Same with these mega corporations pushing for their own models. They're the ones driving it, consuming it the most, and you can make the argument that well, there's the demand for it, people are using it, therefore they build more, use more, but the technology is going to advance. It's going to become more efficient. I don't think, as long as we're not, none of us are super users, so you're not using it constantly to really have to worry about it, I think, on an individual level.
It's so tough, right? It's a charged subject because, people can come back and easily say, okay, well, it builds up and everybody being a part of it, the way that not support it is to not do it. And it's okay, but
it's still gonna happen.
When we do anything, it takes resources, right? This is not something that can be denied. It's definitely taking an effect on life. But you have to. You also have to look at the fact that the toothpaste is out of the tube, so to speak. We're in a place where you are going to choose to use it as a tool. You're going to choose to, be very careful about how you use it. Are you using it to create? Is it basically a calculator to you? And that's okay. You can have that individual outlook on it. You can be that person who says, I hate that this big corporation made the entire intro AI and got rid of people who to do the job. And that same person can say, I made this TikTok and it's funny. There are levels to, how you decide to interact with something and how you decide to react to it. And you can just be the person that you are. You can do what you can.
I think like double down on that. Like literally, if there's such a problem with how it's currently being done or how you perceive it, then before you just let it happen, like you have to discuss, even in small groups like our own, like this existing podcast, of just like, what do you expect this to be, right? Before you complain about how it is, what is it supposed to look like, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of like what this looks like in an industry field, this idea is going to get ripped off and someone's going to make millions of dollars off it. But this is, to me, where you go to all of the big different D&D-esque vendors and say, hey, we want to pay you for your information, your data, and we want to offer a service that's very clear and descript, to these people and maybe you bundle it into D&D Beyond or, whatever product you choose, Pathfinder, and you present the transparency of it, right? I think everything that we talk about is like, we don't want to make money off of it because we feel like we're ripping off someone's hard work. We have that moral quandary. But if we get the affirmative that people are being paid for the data that they're selling to feed these types of information models, then our perspective changes, right? So be a part of the change that you want to see it be, as opposed to just say, this is evil, this is bad, or, I don't want to participate, or, I'm just going to use it however I want to.
Mm-hmm.
AI.
Yeah. I feel like going on what Marcus said at first, like, I'm sure it's at a place now where, like, if someone has no like group around them to play a session, you could just have ChatGPT be your DM, and you're just playing with your character. And I bet someone could have a whole campaign just off that. It's like old school. What were those games where it's like the text games where you say you do something, gives you a response. Say something, gives you a response. It's just like that.
Last thing I want to add here, there's actually, it's really interesting. 4 months ago, someone dropped a video, and he's been making other videos. He's a very, very popular YouTuber named Doug, and he created a game where it's like literally tiles, and he has 3 random people, or he has 3 random AI playing through an AI generated campaign, and you just like get to see what happens.
Insane.
He's providing but that's like kind of literally leaning into your thing of like, what does it look like when you have one person playing a character and 3 other AI generations of personalities that are like building a campaign, what it looks like, right?
AI's ruining everything, man. Kids don't even play D&D anymore. They just watch computers play themselves. The fuck is this? They don't play games. They watch people play games.
Okay, Dad.
Okay, Dad. Close the door on your way out, please.
Yeah, we could have a whole entire discussion about AI.
Yeah, that was a big
which
question.
we could definitely like fill out some more time, but we do have some more questions to get to, and I want to have a little bit of time for some more questions from you guys if you have any. So I think we touched that pretty well. We're gonna move on to our final question from Amor, who was the one that asked about different ways to play D&D. Very much a D&D noob. She said it herself. But her question here is, what are the things that are most important or valuable to be able to perform well in this game?
Knowledge on the rules, for one, and what your character can do. Mainly, you're in it for fun.
Yeah.
I would even argue that you don't even have to know most of the rules or how to play your character at first. I mean, obviously at first, but like, as you play, you'll get to learn it. But like, it's one of those things where D&D is teachable. Easily teachable.
Very.
As long as you're playing with a bunch of people who aren't a bunch of buttholes, then yeah.
What's that like?
If they're just gonna be like,
I've never experienced that before.
Well, your character can't do that,
Well, actually,
respectable of each other. It's a fun game, and you can grow. You really don't need to know anything going into it.
Yeah.
I would say I always feel bad when I have to like go to my character sheet and I feel like the session like grinds to a halt. So like, having a good understanding of what your character can do, so you don't always have to access your character sheet would be something nice. But that comes with time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
Well, and then
don't
there's
stress
some
that.
things that you're always going to need to go to your character sheet for. Because
Yeah,
no one
things you
remembers
don't
what they
use that
add to
often.
hit. No one's
Yeah,
going to
exactly.
remember how much damage they do. Like,
Sure.
you don't...
You don't even
Sometimes
know,
I don't even
man.
remember the name of my character.
Imagine being a,
Yeah.
a spellcaster and memorizing every spell and what they all do.
Fake
You
wizard,
can't memorize
man.
them all.
Fake wizard.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta look
Just
at your
memorize the one you use the
tomes.
most.
I
But
think
yeah, it's...
for-
Oh, sorry. I've already said my part. You go.
Sorry, I'll be real quick. To me, I think it's listening. It's kind of like a weird answer, but it leans into the learning. It leans into you're taking a lot of social cues, which means you have to you're going to gain so much more by listening to what other people have to say, what their intentions are, how your DM iterates things. That if you become a good listener and you find those moments for you to insert yourself into the situations, you'll just have more fun. It won't feel as forced. It won't be so contentious. So just practice active listening and being open to trying different things.
And no one likes that character that's always got to be the first one to say something or always has to interject into the story. Like, let the party organically go through the story. You're not the main character, right?
Yeah, having the open mind, having people that are willing to give you that open mindedness, just being able to, I mean, creativity, right? Like, you have to be a little bit creative at least. Got to make your character. Got to come up with not an extensive backstory. Like, some people go into their first campaign or the first few campaigns, or to the like there are people who've been playing for years who just go in with not really much of a backstory, right? You don't need like anything major, but at least the creativity to be like, I could imagine a character who plays this class and has this kind of attitude, right? And be able to kind of like put yourself in that perspective, which kind of leads in like empathy. I feel like you definitely need a little bit of empathy to kind of like put yourself in the perspective of your character, other people's characters, other players, and kind of understand what, when, and what like some things should be done or said. You know,
I think it's
You
also
can also
okay.
you put all of this. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It was just me being dumb. I was like, you can also put all of this on a resume.
I mean,
Listening, note taking.
literally, the next thing I was going to say is kind of like willing to accept that sometimes you just either you didn't do well or the dice didn't roll in your favor. It's like a persistence element, right? Where it's like, Skylar said active listening. Well, sometimes Skylar sucks and he just says shit when he shouldn't say shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's, that's just a part of it. It's like sometimes, I didn't do well this time. But that's why you have questions like questions, comments, concerns, right? Is then you can collaborate as a group and be like, hey guy.
Hey, gay.
I feel like Travis, Dad, did you guys have anything for this topic to add on? Or?
I just mentioned what I said at first. It's
Knowledge.
knowledge and just enjoying it.
Mm.
Don't take anything personal in the game. And
The last question for Mocha Thunder is a group participation. What was the high and low points for your characters during this first act?
Well, I'll go first. Mine is easy. I think the whole Mount Thorn arc was perfectly executed to a T. I think it was the best arc that you ever seen. Couldn't have been better.
Best arc you could
the only
ever
way
arc.
why that worked perfectly is because you were gone to Florida on vacation.
I know, right?
So
The
it just
best-
worked perfectly that you weren't here.
The best arc of all the arcs that are ever going to be, even if they're not about me. I just made that rhyme. I don't
I forgot
know.
the question.
No, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of the
The low part was probably when, again,
Like when
you're
you
at your
left,
time,
maybe?
when you were being beat up.
Well, like when you say low, are you saying like my character low, or like the thing I didn't like the most?
Character low.
Probably
Oh,
character.
character low. Then
I think character low.
Because we had to come save
Yeah.
your butt.
yeah, for sure. Then it would be when it would be during that whole basically my whole arc just has me both. I think at my highs and my lows. Basically, easy peasy, man. The easy win. Just give me all these. Just lay it out. You know what I'm saying? Easy peasy.
High point for Balasar is easily Goblin Town.
Hmm?
I fell in love with the goblins. They're great. Great people to be around. Also, that
They're
whole
good
arc, I think, to me personally
Their
as well,
potatoes
was so
are
fun. The potatoes.
interesting.
I could see in the dark. Goblins are great, man. The tree was cool.
Not to remind you, was like the low part, like the letter that you got, or what's the low part for Balasar? It's kind of a high point.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was gonna say talking to my dead dad, but that was more of like a nice closure moment.
yeah, that's like it's like a
I'd say
middle
the
ground.
low part is more like just like the return to the desolation of like knowing you weren't gonna find anything or like anyone, but there's still that small chance of hope that you would see something different this time, but nope. Yet again, there's nothing here.
I'd say Dewbagger's high point was when he was swinging around with the crab in his hand.
Jimmy!
I'd roll Jimmy around.
Jimmy.
Probably his lowest
I love that
point was
crab.
probably on the trip to see his mom's cave, and he just broke down and just had a hard time making it there. And
Which, by the way, that was not recorded. That was the first episode of the intermission, which was just something that us, totally not because I forgot to record half of it, but yes, the first episode of the intermission, they did some loose ends. We went and saw Dewbagger's the grave for his mother. There was a lot of conversation. The party is back in Violet Hall. It's the first day of the new year, and a guard ran up to them as soon as they got off the boat and told them to go to Lord Carvin's estate because there is something going on, and it dealt with Balasar's clan. That's where I'll reiterate that in a little bit better detail when we get to that episode being uploaded. But we
spoiler alert, sorry about that.
No, I didn't.
I forgot you.
I didn't fucking forget to record. But
That's the motto for the Reclamation is I did a fucky wookie.
I did a fucking wookie.
Yeah, the fucky
wookie. The
Yeah.
experiment with Malthorin's spell seems to have taken a positive hold. They still have yet to see any side effects from the Diala person that had the cure done, and they had to spend some days to recover because of that, all the exhaustion, but Diala is accompanying the party until they get the Davonmere, and then she has her own things to take care of. And yeah, pretty much that's... But yeah, no, that happened during that episode. Very sad. They had to like go through some treacherous terrain, and Dewbagger just could not get over it. It was very sad to see.
Oh, this is tough. So far, I would have to say Saren's low points, where like Saren's heart has dropped. It's probably a tie between a few moments. The moment where Edenfell was like, they see you, and then he dies. Talking about, we assume the purple-eyed things that were looking directly at us after. That moment that Biblioteca was screaming for help and could not be helped. that moment where Sabis is confessing about the blue vein stuff that is going on with him, and he didn't want to tell the rest of the party. These are all moments where Saren feels like he can't do anything. He's losing the ability to help in those moments. And Saren has a tough time with that. When it comes to high points, Saren finding this group of people that's willing to work together was really big for him.
Got you back.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Saren was feeling kind of good when he was fighting in the snow and everybody was sleep darted until he didn't feel good.
Until he didn't.
Which led to another low.
You should feel
That's where
proud
we
of
are
yourself
currently
there.
with him. If
You almost
Saren
saved
is,
us from that.
yeah,
Tabasco.
but if Saren is failing, Saren is in a bad place.
The low points, I can think of two that come to mind, and Marcus said one of them was, well, I honestly thought you were gonna do when my best friend had perished. That was like, that's probably the hardest one. I had to take him away from this tower and bury him and weep. That's definitely Sabbath's big sad moment number one. And then I think sad moment number two is the confession. It was just as much as it was where Saren didn't have any power. Sabbath recognized he really was powerless, and he gave up the last bit of agency he had in trying to take back against this ailment by confessing it and being like, I can't control myself. I don't have any way of protecting you. Like, you're at risk if you're near me, right? And I would say like the two biggest ups, like high points, is when Shar recognized him and gave him his power back, gave him agency, allowed him the ability to fight against something that was so much bigger than himself with purpose. And not losing his friend, Malthorn, when he got to see him again and made sure that he did anything he had to do, including crushing the neck spine of anything that got in the way of one of his buddies. He cannot lose another friend. So.
I love you too, boo.
There will definitely be a lot more highs and a lot more lows. This is a roller coaster campaign, as any good story is, and we'll see if we can make anything a little bit lower than just losing one friend. Am I right?
Wait.
Oh man, nice. Well, that was good, and it takes us to our final viewer question. One more question from Mr. Knee Slasher himself. Would you consider live streaming for an audience? Not every session, but have like a fun side session with audience input / roles.
I think that'd be very cool.
We can make it work.
Especially as a one-off, I think would be
Yes.
like you could lean really good into that as like a one-off.
We'll see. That's
like our Halloween one we did.
My point. The Halloween one was still recorded. It wasn't done in front of a live
recorded,
audience.
yeah.
The main campaign, absolutely not. The main campaign, we have our own thing going. It's kind of our night to just be together. Although it is recording and it does go out to like people on the internet. It's like our night. It's the 6 of us. I'm keeping that. But one shots. I have a few one shot ideas, and I think it would be super awesome to do a live stream of them and have people from the audience do dice rolls and stuff, absolutely. Will those be coming anytime soon? As of right now, no. Kind of still full focus on this campaign. But down the
Act 2
pipeline,
to get into.
down the pipeline, I do have some
Like-
one shots I would love to run.
Holiday events, you know, like do the spooky Halloween one. You know, we could do like a New Year's thing, or we just look at like holiday events that exist within D&D. Like those are good opportunities where you can, you know, build some momentum towards it and find a random person to bring on.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! If anything is on the table, some selfish, like specific IP-driven things. Like there's a Power Ranger RPG.
I have the book for it.
The Ghibli one.
I think I owe you
Like-
a game of Power Rangers. I don't know why.
Yes.
Jeremiah specifically. But yeah, I mean,
I've had the Power Rangers TTRPG book since it came out.
I think we
Maybe
need to
make a
play
little
that
Kingdom Hearts one.
what are you guys doing next Monday?
One. What are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow?
Nothing now.
Nothing now.
No.
But yeah, that kind of concludes all of the viewer questions. So the floor is open back up.
Where did you think your character was gonna go when you first made it, compared to where they are now, like development-wise? Were you like, I want to make this guy. He's gonna like this and this, and like have these traits, or is he just like complete opposite of what you envisioned? Like where I started, I thought Balasar was gonna be like this lone ranger, very stoic, doesn't get along well with people, but now it's grown more into this team heavy member and trying to be positive all the time. And
Well, he made friends.
exactly, yeah. I think I first
I don't
envisioned
know.
like this Mando type was totally
I
different
kind of
now.
played Dewbaker like I envisioned him. I mean, he's alone for many years by himself until he met Hugh the Hand, and then he was out on sea a lot in lookout and things. So I envision him as someone that's quick talking, has very little patience for slow talk and stuff. He just wants to get out there, get quick done, and then get on with it. And
I think that's
So-
ADHD.
that's why sometimes like when we first met Sabas, I mean, I played him like, and Sabas was really slow talk and everything, and I kind of had him clerk up a couple times, saying, kind of interrupting him, and it's like I wasn't interrupting him because
It's good.
of me, but because of Dewbaker.
Yeah.
That's
Character
what he would
conflicts,
have been
it's good.
like.
Character conflicts. Who needs that?
So
Hawthorne.
when I talk like this, that's when he's talking really fast, and it's hard for me to actually think of what I'm going to say
Right.
when I'm doing that. But
Yeah.
So I mean, I think everyone's who's listened has heard that Malthorn used to be racist. I played at Malthorn as trying to be just a complete I started off with I want to be the not really want to be a part of a group. I'm not gonna like anybody. I want to be secluded. I'd rather not be this. And then what has happened is Travis has kind of shown himself through the character. I've had way too much fun, way more fun as the character than I was trying to be at the beginning.
Mhm.
So that's why
Tone it back.
Malthorn-
It's like this is too much me.
no, it was
Yeah, I
the
mean,
hacky. It was the
no,
hacky
you're
sack
not
that
wrong.
did it.
too much of just me
It was the
joshing
beach
around.
episode. The beach episode.
Yeah,
it
this
was
beach
the
episode I brought
beach.
you out, and then we had the hacky sack game, and
The hacky
We
sack.
spread love, not hate,
bitch,
man, and that's what a beach day is for.
the loving the play.
like tubular, man.
Like all
Yeah,
that stuff. It really yeah. If I was to, which I haven't yet, if I was to replay the original, probably 4 sessions if they're not recorded. But if I bet you the first recorded one, I'm still kind of trying to be quiet and not talk a lot. And then basically, like at this point, I'm just, I'm hitting on people's sisters, and I'm trying. So
We got room for improvement, right?
yeah. So that's why I was kind of happy that we
Be in the
actually.
room.
That's why I was when I originally made the character. I actually had the whole backstory, and I kind of gave it a little bit to Jeremiah, and he was like, "Oh, this is really dope. We're gonna like." I think I actually had the mountains thought up. I actually like named them or something, and he like crafted this backstory that we just did around those mountains, and like it was just really nice to bring him back because like I'd almost completely forgot all about it, and it was just a nice time for me to like bring the character that originally I thought was gonna be there kind of back, but I've also enjoyed having a lot of fun at the same time. So, yeah. Long story short, to say, no, I did not think it would be this way.
Didn't know it was gonna be this way.
Yeah. Sabas was originally going to be a like fighter warlock, where he was gonna like eventually get to like a hammerlock pistol in one hand and Eldritch Blast in the other, like a shadow gunsmith type thing.
Okay.
Very, very inspired by Critical Role. Like,
That really sounds a lot like Critical Role.
yeah, it was pretty inspired. I haven't had the opportunity to do something like I genuinely dislike the warlock class. I don't know why. It just in my like I've seen so many iterations where it just sucks. I was like, I'm gonna make a good one where I'm gonna like it, and at some point I realized I was like, the party composition doesn't really make sense for this. I'm kind of like trying to do two different things here, and they don't really like mesh well. And I think at some point I was like, I think I need to like do like a broken pact kind of thing, not only for just Skylar but Sabas, in terms of like what does that look like to get out of this old situation, this dark place that he's currently at with these new people. And it ended up being Paladin. I mean, it could have been Cleric, it could have been anything, but just work with Jeremiah and really checked out the party, and it just I don't know what happened. I think one day it just like flipped, and I was like Paladin, and it just kind of made sense.
I made a character, and the first thought in my head was nobody's going to be a healer. I have to heal. My character must be able to bring somebody back if necessary. And so from that, I was like, okay, but what can be special about that? And I was like, my character is going to be some sort of guardian of the moon, because that's a theme, and there's going to be healing.
It's gonna be dope.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm going to make sure people live, maybe. But also being fully aware that normally a healer is a squishy situation, and I didn't want that either.
Actually, in D&D, not really. Clerics are pretty tanky.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yes, they are very tanky.
So I'm told.
I very early on, I realized that I was hitting things more than healing, and I was like, oh. And it ended up being good, because the way that Saren's story is, without really telling it, because I don't think we told each other all kinds of backstory stuff, but like Saren did not have cleric-y knowledge, and then he came into it on his way to meeting the group. So not being proficient in it and not like using it or jumping to it actually matches up story-wise, which is good. And then as he's learning, not only is he getting more into sort of like the healing and the magical part of it, and knowing when to do it, there is a person growing in the character, which will hopefully continue to become evident.
My question, super quick one. Would you do it again? If you had the opportunity to go back in time before we did this campaign, would you do it again, knowing where we're at right now?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I hate you guys. This is actually the end.
You guys are a lot of work.
Hey, seriously, dude.
You question, I answer. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
No, like there is no way that this would not have happened. This group,
Yeah, this.
the 6 of us, hands down. Coming up, we are taking a winter break from uploading, so you won't see us again for a couple months. I'm thinking mid-February, beginning of March, is when we're going to start with the intermission. The intermission is going to be some time while the boat is being made to go off to Davonmere and search for Davonmere. There is going to be some side quests. There's going to be some more exploration. A bunch of fun, silly little stuff with some hints and some stuff for the main story thrown in there to kind of get the players on track for the next part. To kind of give everybody a brief rundown, I'm coming up with a bunch of quests, and we're just going to be doing a bunch of quests. Each of them are going to be assigned a difficulty level based on what Lord Carvin deems them difficulty-wise. And you guys will just go around and completing those quests and unraveling some more mysteries, which will lead us to Act 2, which, if we make it that far, will see the party head towards Davonmere with a whole slew of new territories, new people. Well, for most people, it'll be welcome home for Sabbath. But this world has changed forever with what happened in Act 1. The revival of a void god and the connection between divinity and mortal has been limited in a way due to some particular magics that seem to have been lost in the thousands of years since the original capturing of this entity. And we will uncover more of those truths and have a lot more fun like this in the next session of the Reclamation. Have a great holiday season. That's going to be it from us over here. And
Yeah.
we'll see you all in the new year.
Peace.